Welcome back to MVM. Today I am bringing you a preview of Coreball, the zero gravity sport. Coreball is a 2-4 player skirmish game played on a translucent board where you're actually moving through space, fighting for control of a ball, and also trying to injure and knock out your opponents in order to score points. This is definitely a tactical miniatures game where everything you need to play comes in one box. And this core set comes with 4 different teams that you'll be able to choose from, with the potential to be even build your own team or to add on additional teams through content. Now, I do have a game here set up in front of me. This is a prototype here, but these minis are very close to final in design, but you'll see each of these minis has their own stand to kind of highlight that zero gravity effect. The game also comes with this translucent board, and this board actually lifts up, and the play mat for the particular round tucks underneath it. So the environment that you're playing on is actually going to change every game. When you sit down to play, you're going to create your team, and you're given a deck of cards. You have a series of generic characters that everyone gets, like a center, a tackle, a support, a phaser, things like that. And you're also going to have 3 unique characters. So every team has 3 unique characters with their own unique sculpts of their player color. And then in addition, you have sculpts for every other type of character as well, again in your player color. And the game comes with 4 of these different teams. The main game is played 1v1, but there are rules for doing a 3-player variant and then even a 4-player game in teams. So you sit down, you choose your deck, and then you're going to pick a random arena to play. And now for this Kickstarter preview, all I have is the asteroid field, and I have that kind of set up here in front of me. But the final version of the game is going to come with multiple arenas. So you'll start with the arena, you'll tuck one of those sheets under the board, and you'll be able to start playing. You determine a first player, and they're going to start by seeding the board with their figures. These miniatures all have a variety of different stats, and these stats are going to determine how they can handle the ball, their defensive and dodge abilities, their ability to grapple an opponent, to push opponents out of the way, and even to hack your opponent's exosuits and also to hack elements of the game board. So there is definitely an element of sabotage here. In addition, each one of these characters is going to have a special ability. All of those core characters have the same special ability for every player, but your 3 unique characters are all going to have 3 unique abilities. In addition, every team is going to have a deck of cards. And this deck of cards is the same for every player and is going to do a variety of different things that I'll talk about here in a second. So once you have all those things, you're going to place your figures on the board. You can come into the board on any one of the outside edges, and you're going to take turns placing one by one. Now this is a game already set up in progress, and we're actually on one of the more advanced maps, which has a variety of different obstacles. If you look at one of the asteroid field guidelines, it actually tells you everything that can happen on this board. It tells you a little bit about the board itself, all the different obstacles, and what all the symbols on the board mean. The other arenas that are going to come with the final version are each going to have their own sheets of this, and actually it's just a map printed on the back. So whenever you're looking at the reverse side, you're going to be able to have all that information present. Once you've seeded the board, you're going to take your score marker and you're going to start with 5 points, 1 point for every character you have on the board, and the opponent, whoever went second, is going to start with the control of the ball. The ball is right now this little token that's going to sit on the base of one of the characters and show that they are in possession of that ball. The rest of the characters that you don't use are going to sit over here in your reserve, and you're going to have the option to bring them in later so you can actually switch up your strategy as you play the game. The goal of the game is to earn points by controlling the ball. After a round ends, which means every character has acted, you're going to see who has control of the ball, and they're going to gain 3 points. In addition, there are many ways to lose points. As your characters become wounded or knocked out or even forced off the map, you're going to tick that point tracker down and lose any points you've gained down to a minimum of 0. So you don't have to crawl back out of a negative hole here. But there are several different ways to lose points and only one way to gain, and that is by maintaining the control of that ball. Meanwhile, your opponent is going to do everything they can to get that ball away from you. And that's where the actions of the game come into play. On your turn, you're going to choose one of your 5 characters called flyers, flying around the zero gravity area, and you're going to activate them. You're going to take the card, tap it sideways, and then you're going to be able to both move and perform an action. Every character can move twice, so you can take a standee and move 2 spaces in any orthogonal direction. That is free to do. You can move and act and then move, take both movements and act, however you want to split that up. And then you're going to do an action. And there are a large variety of actions that tie into these different stats again. You're going to be doing things like trying to steal the ball, push players into obstacles or off the map. You're going to be hacking their exosuits. You're going to be grappling them. For example, these 2 characters here are grappled, which prevents them from being able to move and do other actions. Now, what's very interesting about this game is the way these actions work. Whenever you do something like try to throw a ball or try to grapple somebody, the other player that's there can counter. For example, they can try to dodge your grapple or dodge your push. They could try to intercept the ball mid-flight. And the way that works is you look at your character's stats. For example, I have a ball handling of 3. My opponent maybe has a ball handling of 2. Then you take your deck of cards, you flip over the top card, you look at the number at the bottom, and you add that to your score. So there's a bit of randomness. There's no dice in the game, but these cards are going to make up for that. Now, if you initiated an action, for example, I try to pass the ball, I flip a card, and I lose, then this card that I flipped actually comes and sits in front of me, joins my tableau, and later I can discard that card for an action. So when you do an action and are defeated, you lose the action, but you do get a secondary benefit. Now, if you're countering, win or lose, you just discard your card into the discard pile. So once a character has taken their actions, they're tapped and exhausted, and you're going to keep on doing that until every character has acted. The strategy of the game comes into pushing, knocking people into objectives, knocking people off the map, stealing that ball, passing the ball back and forth to your stronger players, basically interacting with this game as if it was a sport. At the end of the round, you're going to look at whoever has that ball and give them the 3 points. In addition, throughout the course of the match, you may have accrued what are called momentum tokens. These momentum tokens are given for a variety of different things. Passing through certain obstacles on the board, using certain characters' abilities are going to give you these momentum tokens. And if you look at the board, every side of the board is marked with a symbol that corresponds to one of these momentum tokens. At the end of the round, you're going to tally up all the momentum tokens you received, and you're going to move your character in those different directions. So for example, if I had a purple momentum token on this character actually leaves the board at the end of the round, and I'm going to lose points as if they had been knocked out by another player. So when you're moving around the board and accruing these momentum tokens and positioning your character, it's very important to pay attention to that, because at the end of the round, you're going to have to move. In addition, characters can achieve status effects like being tired or hacked or things that are going to interact with other cards and elements of the game. These all additionally come off at the end of the round. The last thing you'll do is you'll actually move locations. So you have this mat here. You're going to slide this out with every character staying in the same location, and then put a new map in. And now your characters are moving through space. They're on a new board. This means obstacles are going to come and go. The paths are going to change. In addition, any character that was knocked out will get to come back on the board. However, if I don't want to use that same character, I can actually take that character, swap it out with a character in my reserve, switch out their card with the correct card, and then continue my game with a new team. And this is going to change some of the stats and some of the strategies used in the game, in addition to their abilities. And like I said, at any point, you're going to be able to use those cards that you set in front of you as part of your tableau to perform some surprise maneuvers. This game takes place over 4 rounds, so you're going to be playing on 4 different maps. At the end of that 4th round, the player who has the highest victory points is going to be the winner. So that is Coreball. This game is on Kickstarter right now. You could take a look at their page, see the final versions of all these minis, and in addition, anything they've got for stretch goals, including maybe new teams, new figures, alternate sculpts, and things like that. So take a look there, come back and comment. And as always, thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, and following everything we do, and we'll see you next time.